Let's go on the record. Now, we all know that water keeps us alive, but not all water is created equal. And here's the real question. What if the water you're drinking isn't actually hydrating you the way that it should? Now, the human body, it's made up of up to 60% water. That's our brain, our blood, our muscles, and our cells. These all depend on it to function, to recover, to perform. And water quality, it matters much more than we've even been taught. And look, most of us were told one thing growing up: drink more water, be hydrated. But I don't know about you, no one ever explained to me what kind of water, how it's stored, what's in it, or whether it's helping or hurting us at a cellular level. Now, today we're going to be going on the record speaking about hydration myths, and I'm sitting down with Manning Sumner. He is a fitness entrepreneur, founder of the Legacy Gym Enterprise. He is the creator of the premium water brand NDO H20, built around a very simple but apparently controversial idea, which is that not all water is created equal. We're going to be breaking down what hydration actually means, why things like minerals, pH, and packaging matter, what's really going on with plastics and BPAs, and what you should actually be drinking if you take your health seriously. Manning, welcome. Let's go on the record. Well, Manning, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
So when I was doing a bit of a deep dive on you, I saw that you broke your back.
Twice.
Yeah. I broke my neck when I was younger in 2 spots, C5, C6. So as soon as I read that, I'm like, my heart just was like,
Oh, the neck sounds even worse though.
It's brutal.
Yeah. Did you have surgery?
No, I didn't need surgery.
See, I didn't either, so that's good.
How are you doing now?
Oh, great. Yeah.
Good?
I mean, great as can be. You know, I'm limited in certain movements. So some of the stuff I love to do, for instance, like I would have loved been running with Tanner and Rich, but I can't run like that. Like, so the pounding.
Yeah.
So my doctor said absolutely no jumping rope, trampoline, running, jumping, which, you know, I'm an athlete, so that sucks with a lack of a better word, you know. But the older I get, I let my ego die and just do what I can and not, you know, not let the ego get in my way. Because before I would, and then I kept hurting myself. And at the end of the day, when you have 2 kids and a family and 3 businesses, the main thing is to be pain-free. And I'm sure you know about that. So pain-free is a blessing. So I've been pain-free for a while now. So I'm excited about that.
Well, look, thank you for being here. We're today starting this episode, guys. There's going to be a part 2 here. So part 1, we're just talking about hydration. Part 2, I'm personally very excited. We're going to be speaking about the carnivore diet.
Okay.
Which is going to it's a very interesting one.
Yes.
But you just mentioned 3 different businesses, and one of them being a premium water brand. So can you tell me a little bit more about it? I know that not all water is created equally.
Yes.
So what does that actually mean?
Yeah, it actually took us 2.5 years to develop. So when I sought out to do this, it was right around the time that LD, we'll call them LD, opened the category of canned water.
Okay.
And so canned water really wasn't a thing. And so it kind of opened that category up. And I looked at it as, okay, if they're going to play in a marketing game, like a branding game, what if we attacked it from a premium position and we really cared about what's in the can? Because ultimately it's going in people's bodies, right? So we had to be like obsessive about the liquid. And so we hired water sommeliers. We went through all these different people to make the water. And believe it or not, making good water is really hard. And so what we created was this 7-step reverse osmosis process that takes it all the way down to the 1 micron. You hear reverse osmosis a lot, and a lot of reverse osmosis machines, what have you, only take it down to a certain amount of microns. And I've heard that it can go even lower than 1, but ours goes to 1. And then we hit it with ultraviolet light and tonal pasteurization. So we're stripping all the impurities out. And what we've kind of come to find out, and especially in the water world or water in general, is that because we've been polluting the world so much and humans suck, and the plastic epidemic and all this stuff, is that unless you're putting the water through a process, more than likely you're going to find something bad in the water, especially if it's coming from like a so-called natural source. So your spring waters, your well waters, your Arctic waters, your glacier waters, all these things, most of the time, since it's not going through a process, there's something bad in it. And we're seeing that, now everything is being blasted on social media every 5 seconds of like, what's the bad water and what's not good. And then the plastic, like if your water is in plastic, it's inevitable. It's going to have PFAS and microplastics in it. It's almost impossible for it not to. And then when you go through the 7-step reverse osmosis process, now you have to put the essential minerals back in, or the electrolytes back into the water for the function, hydration, and most importantly, the taste. Because at the end of the day, you want people to essentially be addicted to your water. You want it to be memorable. And that's what we've done. I mean, it is has a very soft mouthfeel. It has a very pure taste to it. No aftertaste. You don't have that. Like a lot of waters are hard mouthfeel, and then they have that weird aftertaste. A lot of that is coming from the plastic, but sometimes it's just coming from an imbalance of minerals. So we use potassium, calcium, and magnesium, and it was literally like a chemistry experiment. Like, I mean, we literally watched, them like pour a little bit of this and then take a little bit of that. And it was really a cool process. I mean, when we first moved our co-packing from Pembroke Pines to Charlotte, North Carolina, when we hired Battle Co-Packing to do our water, it took us like 6 months to get the formulation right. And then we have like a book like this big of how to make our water, because now it's like a proprietary blend of steps to take. But yeah, we take a lot of pride in the fact that, and then also we don't stop. And what I mean by that is we're continually testing our water, testing our competitors, and we're always trying to improve. And that goes right in line with who we are and our messaging. So no days off is never taking a day off on you. It's a commitment to becoming your best self, and bettering yourself never stops. So we can't stop. We can't just say, okay, this is the best water. We have to always try to make it better. And one of the examples of that is we recently told our engineer to change a certain filter because it was getting rid of like 85 to 90%. And he said that's industry standard. And we were like, nope, we want it to be 100.
Wow.
And the guy was like, no brand ever does this. And we were like, no, we want it to.
So you would cringe that I used to go out to the yard, get the hose water, and fill up my bottles with the best tasting water. But it's probably
but that was back in the day though. Like,
we didn't know better.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember those days. I mean, I'm way older than you. So we literally drank out of the hose, and it was the best tasting water ever. So yeah.
So what was the inspiration to even start the brand? Like, how did you realize, obviously there was a gap in the market. You talked about the can, but what was the motivation behind creating a premium product like that?
So the motivation came from, for years, I'd always wanted to do my own water. But at the time it was like private label, on a plastic bottle, like with a little wrapper, and it just wasn't sexy. It just didn't scream entrepreneurship. It didn't scream scale. It didn't really turn me on in that way. And then when I saw canned water, and I had already done a beer. So I did a beer with JW Wakefield here in Miami, and it was electrolyte beer, and it was delicious. It was a raspberry mango.
Oh, interesting.
And it was really good.
And the electrolytes help with the hangover?
Yeah.
I saw that on Shark Tank.
And taste. It makes it taste phenomenal. And it was selling at Total Wines for $9 and flying off the shelf.
Wow.
And it actually looked just like our black can. So
wow.
So I already kind of dabbled in beverage.
Yeah.
And then when I was raising money for my gyms, I met a man, my business partner, Adam Siegel, at the time. He introduced me to a man named William My Food. So William My Food owns Wasinco, and that's the largest food and beverage distribution in the English-speaking Caribbean and Jamaica.
Wow.
And they control the GDP of Jamaica. It's crazy. And his product is Wata. And then they just recently did a beer called Legends Beer. But when I met him, he kind of was like, not really into the gym. I don't really understand the gym business, but I love No Days Off, and I love your logo. I love your brand. He's like, have you ever thought about doing your own beverages? And I was like, yes. and it just sparked. It was like one of those aha moments where you have the right pieces. I think in business, oftentimes it's not the idea, but it's the people that can execute the idea. So for me, it was like, all right, I've got Adam, who's like a finance guru. I've got William, who's already a proven food and beverage guy. And then I have this amazing brand. And it was really cool because I believe they all believe the same thing, because they actually invested into my brand, not into necessarily the beverages in the gym. So we actually started a holding company that owns now my trademarks.
Yeah.
So the No Days Off, the Pitbull, the Legacy, the Partner Interval, all my trademarks. So so that's kind of how we did it. But that was really it. It was like looking in my fridge every single day in all the gyms. You know, obviously we sell, energy drinks, coffee, beer, wine, water, protein shakes, all this stuff. And I'm like, I should own all this. I should have. And that's the cool thing too, is that we're a beverage company. So we're not just a water company. So I truly believe once our waters are everywhere and that brand equity is being built, then we can come out with, different extensions and innovation and stuff like that. So
true entrepreneur.
Yeah.
It's never done.
Never done. Unfortunately, my brother and I talk about it often. He's like, when is it ever going to be enough? And I'm like, that's a great question. So
we've talked about your water. I've tried it. It's amazing.
It's really good, right?
How do you go with normal water now? Because I know when I came from Australia, we moved to California and I tried the water. I was like, this is crazy. Like, how do people drink this? Like,
it's wild,
give
right?
me the hose water in Australia.
Yeah.
So obviously, like, there's so many toxins and there's so many pollutants in the water. Can you talk maybe a little bit about like what we consume without even knowing it versus like whether you're an athlete or not, what is the positive of hydrating properly?
If you don't know, I think most bottled water, if you really understand the bottled water, is really tap water.
Yeah.
It's municipal tap water, and then they just put a mineral tab in it, let it sit, and then close it up and sell it. So that's typically like your Aquafinas, your Dasanis, Zephyr Hills, stuff like that, So I would say first and foremost, if you're gonna drink any kind of tap water or essentially bottled water tap, then I would run it through a filter first. So either like a home reverse osmosis system or something. And then also you can test water. It's not that crazy expensive. So you can buy like little water
pH
tests.
labels,
Stuff like that. So, but I think it's very important that you drink water that does have minerals in it. I think it is important. So your top minerals for water is your potassium, calcium, magnesium. And that's really what kind of hydrates the cells and keeps the water in the cells. And so you're not feeling fatigued or sluggish. If they're not that active, believe it or not, they're actually probably okay if they're drinking enough water. Now, it's not gonna take into effect the PFAS, the microplastics, sometimes arsenic, all the stuff in it. But as far as hydration goes, if they're not really that active and they're not living in like a hot climate, then if they're drinking enough water, they should be fine. It's really people that sweat, are active, or in heat. Like Miami is a place, obviously, I think we're the only place right now that's somewhat warm. We did get a little, I'm wearing a jacket because it is, for us, it's cold, which is hilarious.
It's like 25 degrees.
Exactly. But, everywhere else it's like 3 degrees. So, but I think that's where you have to pay attention, because hydration is about fueling the body with more than just water. And it is the combination of, hydration is the combination of water, minerals, and food. So it's not just water. And I think a lot of people think, I just keep drinking water. Like I've heard that, my pee just needs to be clear all the time. Well, actually that can mean that you're overhydrated. Like you're actually not hydrated if your pee's too clear all day long. Now you want that light yellow, you don't want it like, to be like golden, because then you're definitely probably dehydrated, but you also don't want it to be perfectly clear either. So, yeah.
What about people that are chronic sparkling water drinkers? Because I know you have the sparkling option as well.
Which I'm one.
You are.
So yes. And I have to remind myself, because so the sparkling does not have the minerals in it. It's just pure, crisp, delicious water.
And it's got the lower pH, right?
And it's got a lower pH, which the whole pH thing is a little overhyped. It's more sensationalism to get people to buy it, to be honest. I mean, we do it too. They say you want your water above a 7 pH. So ours is 8.1 to 8.5. So we're in that targeted consumer that they're looking for, but your body regulates your own pH. So it doesn't change your body's pH. I have heard, like, my dad is older. He thinks it makes a difference.
In what way?
In how he feels.
Worse or better?
Better, yeah.
Better.
Yeah. So like, there could be some truth. I've heard people with acid reflux,
Yeah.
that they benefit from a higher
Sparkling.
pH water.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's some truth to it, but I just think the way people are like, it has to be, you know, this,
specifically.
I don't think that's necessarily true.
Yeah. When I was doing dentistry, one of the most common questions that I would get asked is about sparkling water and adding lemon to it. Because obviously,
Because the teeth and the acidic.
Yeah. So that's why I asked you about the pH. Like, how does that affect the rest
So
of
asking
the
you,
body?
so is it that bad for your teeth?
If you are all day something is carbonated and
Yeah.
it does have that lower pH, it is conducive to erosion.
Oh,
So
yeah,
especially
yeah.
if you're adding something like lemon all day and like sipping it. So what I would say is like, you know how normally people would have like a water bottle and they'll squeeze like the lemon in, they'll all day be sipping it.
Right.
What that is doing is basically pulling the pH in your mouth down all day, which means that the acid attacks that happen when you have plaque on your teeth and it's
Right.
not cleared off, basically it exacerbates that to a degree.
Oh, no.
So it does make it worse.
Yeah,
so
so you
I would
gotta
just say,
pay
just drink
attention
it
to
at
that.
once. Just
Yeah.
drink it at once. Like don't
Right.
sip on it all day. Or
No,
just,
yeah. Well,
or
that's
just
the cool
don't-
thing
or
too.
don't
is-
add the lemon.
and the bubbles go away.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like I mean, for me, I pound this thing.
Yeah,
like,
just don't add the lemon.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think you'll be good and sip
All
it
right.
all day. All right, so you've talked a little bit about entrepreneurship. I know this episode isn't about that. I want to touch on that because I think that's something that my viewers love to talk about. What is next for you guys? You've talked about a beverage company.
CPG in general is a brutal game to play. So it is I mean, all business is competitive, but it is fierce out there. I mean, you can only imagine how many beverage companies launch and how many different SKUs and all this stuff. So we have been extremely intentional in our path, and we're being intentional in where we're going. So what we like to say is that we're really an on-premise water. So what that means is like immediate consumption. You know, we were born out of the gyms. We were kind of introduced to bars and restaurants. And a fun fact, not that you'd be hanging out here, but are you familiar with Mode in Brickell?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think you would be, but
I know.
but it's a club
Oh.
and you know, a bar and club in Brickell, and we're the top selling beverage in the entire club.
Interesting.
So we actually outsell Tito's vodka and any beer, like everything. It's really been a path, and we're really opening the eyes up to our beer distributors. So something that we've also done is, so we're playing the game of being on premise, coffee shops, bodegas, you know, sandwich shops, pizza places, bowling alleys,
yeah, just expanding.
golf courses, anywhere you can pop a top, right?
Yeah.
And then we strategically got on Molson Coors trucks, so beer trucks. So we're signed with the largest beer distributor in the country, Reyes Holdings. And what they're loving about us is that we're adding so much incremental revenue to their truck stops because they're going to these places anyways and selling beer or spirits. But beer and alcohol sales are down.
They are.
So and Gen Zs and millennials are just not drinking as much. So this is adding revenue to their otherwise where they wouldn't have. And
Yeah.
because if let's say they were selling like a cheap budget water, like plastic water, like a Poland Springs or like a Costco water or something, they wouldn't make any money off of that. Cause that's, you know, somebody's buying it for like 20 cents a bottle, right? But with us, they're actually like, not only are their margins are higher. So, and actually their margins are higher than beer. So we're like a fan favorite right now of our beer distributors, and they really want us to win. So really the next phase is to even grow even more with our distributor partners and specifically Molson Coors, and see where this thing goes. We've also done really well on e-commerce. Beverage is really hard on e-commerce because it's so heavy. So like if you're selling like scrunchies, you know, you can crush it on e-commerce because it doesn't weigh anything. So your shipping cost is cheap. But selling something that weighs 13 to 20 pounds to ship is brutal. But we found a way, and we're a top 10 seller on Amazon, and we're a top 5 seller on TikTok Shop. So the more the brand builds like that. So last year, we only had 2 distributors and we were only in 2 states. This year, we have 20 distributors and we're in over 12 states. And this year, we have access to over 100,000 doors. And basically, we call it the year of desirability. This is the year of marketing. So it's like the availability is there. Now we just got to drive people to go purchase the product. So it's a game of driving desirability and availability, and kind of like don't outkick your coverage.
Yeah.
And you see that with a lot of brands. Like sometimes they go too hard with marketing, but then there's nowhere to buy it.
Yeah.
Or they sell out and they weren't ready for I've heard so many stories where they went viral and then they didn't have any product because they weren't ready on that end. So we are ready on all fronts. Hopefully we get some form of virality one day. Maybe it's from your show, you know?
I mean, you're such a wealth of knowledge in so many areas, and you guys have to come to episode 2. We're going to be talking about the carnivore diet and getting deep into that. This is a diet that I've been on. I know you've been on it, so we have a lot to chat about.
I didn't know you'd done it. Oh yeah. Amazing.
And how can everybody find your water? I know you mentioned Amazon.
Yeah, so we're on Amazon, we're on TikTok Shop. You can go to our store locator. We are here in Miami, we're at Milam's. We are obviously at all the legacy gyms. We are about to launch in Kroger in Tennessee. So we're about to launch that. That's kind of a cool thing. And also Total Wines in Tennessee. So that's been pretty cool. And if you go to Nashville, we're all over Broadway. We're the water of Barstool and the water of Kid Rock's bar and stuff like that, so you can enjoy us there. But yeah, that's for right now, that's kind of where we're at. We off premise, which means retail, is always kind of the end game.
Yeah. So
eventually, we'll want to sign that Publix and Walmart. We are available in certain Walmarts too. Not all of them, but certain ones. So
that's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, guys. Go check them out. I'm going to link it below. It is worth the hype. It's one of the only products, other than my product, that I think I've ever talked about on the podcast.
Oh,
so that means I'm a true fan. So I'm going to link it below. Go check it out. And I'm also going to link his gym, Legacy. If you're ever in Miami, go check it out. And I'll also link his podcast below if you guys want to hear even more.